We talk it out, no time to waste. Ooh, yeah. Face to face, we set the pace. Hey, hey. Love so strong, no need to race. We hold it tight in every space, making it last. Oh, making it last. Yeah, yeah. Through the future, through the past. Building it high, keeping it fast. Communication, making it last. Making it last. Oh, making it last. Yeah, yeah. Through the future, through the past. Building it high, keeping it fast. Communication, making it last.
It's time for another conversation. Welcome to Making It Last podcast, where it's all about helping us to have better relationships, not just with ourselves, but with other people. I'm Noreen Dahlia, and with me this time around is Dahlia Holmes. And yeah, she'll understand why I paused just now with saying that. She is a friend of mine. I've known her for a while. It's safe to say maybe 20, 30 years now.
Since
Yeah?
Taco killed Philip.
Yes?
Since Taco killed Philip. Yes.
Yeah, right. So she is an artist, teacher, singer, among other things, but those are just the labels we're working with this time around. And what we're going to be unpacking is age gap, a shift in sibling dynamics. Tell us a little bit about your background, and then we'll get into the topic.
Well, which background are we referring to? The sibling background or the background?
A bit of both, because it then shapes, the conversation.
Yes, this is true. My background is I am a PK, a Seventh Adventist PK, preacher's kid. So, which is one of the reasons why I'm a Jill of all trades.
Okay.
Um, and my oldest sibling is 6 year has a 6 year difference on me. We were both the products of the Seventh Adventist educational system.
Mm-hmm.
Her more so than me, and legacy to West Indies College, now Northern Caribbean University.
Mm-hmm.
So all of that came into play because she, of course, went to NCU ahead of me, and then I followed after. So you had all of the fun side effects that come with being first your parents' child, who both of them had attended NCU, and then your sister's baby sister, and she had attended NCU, and not only attended NCU but walked on water, fed 5,000 with loaves and fishes, and graduated summa cum laude at 16 years old. Got her teacher's license and was teaching in Green Island high school, public high school at 17. She was
Wow.
she was the age of a lot of her students, and she was shorter than most of the students. I call her my little big sister because she's so much shorter than me. But yeah, that was a lot to come up against. She out the gate genius, and then you had me.
Yeah. So, given that you and I can relate, but we're not talking about me today. That age gap growing up, how was that? Let's deal with the negatives first, though. How was that a negative, you think, in terms of how you are related to each other? Because I'm sure there's some positives, but let's start with the negatives.
You're dropping out a little bit.
All right. So, are you hearing me?
Yes, now you're back in.
Right. So I'm saying, I am sure there were some negatives.
Yes.
What were some of the negatives? Because I know they're positive. So we're gonna start with the negatives. How are some of the negatives in terms of that gap and how that would have impacted how you are related to each other?
Well, for me, the biggest negative was, she found me an annoying little sister.
Wow. Okay.
When we were younger, because I'm me. You have known me for quite a while, so you understand when I say I'm me.
Mm-hmm.
I was very precocious. Um, and I had amazing parents who, particularly my father, believed that I had something to say. So
Okay.
from the time I was 5 years old, I had something to say. Most Jamaican families know it was children should be seen and
See
not
that, not
heard.
heard. Mm-hmm.
While at 7 and 8, I was preaching and doing stories for children's service and all of that, and singing. And I was up there. Mo- I was moderating panels by 9 on eschatological and prophetic scriptures and stuff, where it was all
Okay.
adults and then me.
Mm-hmm.
So you had that, and then my sister, on the other hand, was very quiet, very studious. She didn't particularly like to be bothered,
Mm-hmm.
and she was not impressed particularly by the wonder of people. So, but on the flip side, her mind was just insane. The
Wow.
ability to hold on to stuff and
Mm-hmm.
understand stuff. So she was the mental equivalent of my social equivalent, if
Okay.
that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. And so because she was quiet and, composed and graceful and little, and I was this
Mm-hmm.
thing, and was large and bombastic and all of that,
Mm-hmm.
she got all the good press. If there if there was trouble, they always assumed it was with me. It
Okay.
was, even if I wasn't doing anything. Most of the time, I actually wasn't doing anything. But the trouble always was, oh, it had to be Michelle is what they would call me. So,
Mm-hmm.
it had to be Michelle. Michelle had to be the one doing it. Trudy would never do that,
Wow.
you know. And then she started West Indies College now, NCU. She started
Mm-hmm.
it just after she hadn't turned 15 yet. She hadn't got to 15 yet. So she was super young, and she was gone. It was just me and my brother at home, and you know, yes, you're fun and have fun with your brother, but your sister
Mm-hmm.
is the other female in the house and she was larger than life to me. I practically kissed the ground she walked on. In fact, she was telling me, because we were talking about when I was smaller, and I talked about how she was always gone from the house. She said, actually, I was
Mm-hmm.
not always gone. She goes, one of the things you love to talk about, you remember it all wrong, because yes, I left one night to sleep over at some friends' houses, and you pitched such a fit that mommy and daddy came and got me 2 hours later. I could not even hang out with my
Wow.
friends because you were so upset that I was gone. And I'm like,
Wow.
of course, then I remembered it.
Okay. So now the version has changed.
The version has changed, it has modified. But that's one of the great things. Now that we're older, we have gotten to actually be friends,
Okay.
and we are telling each other the stories that we had about each other growing up, and we're realizing, wow, i
Mm-hmm.
hadn't I hadn't thought of that, I hadn't considered that. And she's like, wow, I hadn't considered that. And I remember it was 93 or 94, she told me that she had always been amazed by me and jealous of me. And I was like, wait, what? You were
Wow.
what? When? You know, as the new social media kids go, what the helly? I say, what the
Mm-hmm.
halitosis?
Mm-hmm.
She said, you got to do so much. You are so free, just so, you weren't afraid of anything. And you inhabited your space, just while I had to always think of, okay, how is this going to affect this, and how is this going to do this?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Oh. Wow.
We talk it out, no time to waste. Ooh, yeah. Face to face, we set the pace. Hey, hey. Love so strong, no need to race.
A lot of us have siblings, and sometimes we wonder how to navigate the relationship that you might have. Well, that's what we're unpacking in this episode. But we must take a break and get a word from our partners. We'll be right back.
She's an MC for work or family, communicator with a remedy. Her service is high quality. Introducing Noreen Daly, host and founder of Making It Last, a fulfilling, engaging podcast. An exceptional woman for the task. Daily is the communication boss, the daily communicator. Will always make it greater and keep you reminiscing later. The daily communicator will always make it greater and keep you reminiscing later. Engaging, empowering, exceptional.
From logos to flyers, business cards to invitations, J Designs is your one-stop shop for all things design related. Fast, affordable, creative, and one of a kind? Follow us on Instagram at JDesigns. Email us at jdesigns.graphics@gmail.com or WhatsApp us at 876-280-2816 and let J Designs make your creative dreams come to life.
Langdo Language Institute was created to meet your language and communication needs. All of our packages were created just for you. We are passionate about language and dedicated to your success. We offer the CSEC English program, the Study Buddy program, the Get Ahead with English program, and the Business Communication program. Contact us at 767-285-0938 or email us at landolanguage@gmail.com. Because the real question is, how can we help you?
The conversation continues.
We talk it out, no time to waste. Ooh, yeah. Face to face, we set the pace. Hey, hey. Love so strong, no need to race.
Whoa, whoa. So you've touched on some of the positives, but for some persons who will listen and watch this and they're still navigating that and they're not maybe at the stage yet where they're even friends, what sort of advice would you have for some people who are still navigating that? Maybe the gap isn't as wide, but there is some gap.
Well, depending on the age, if you're young, give it some
Mm-hmm.
time because my sister and I never talked till I moved to the US in 1993. That's when we actually had a conversation. There were no conversations prior to that.
Mm.
Yes, she wasn't listening to me because she had this idea of me in her head that, dominated
Mm-hmm.
and shaped our entire relationship.
Mm-hmm.
While I had a whole nother idea of her in head that, she was, I mean, I knew she wasn't flawless because I knew the flaws. Boy, did I
Mm-hmm.
know the flaws. Because, lick the wash belly always fast. I know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I she was always this pillar on this giant pillar above and beyond, especially once, as Jamaicans, you hear the words summa cum laude and magna cum laude and all that, and she had a PhD, you know, and I didn't have any of the above.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so all of our interactions with that, it was me going, oh, and she going, uh,
You have me actually picturing, or listening or hearing
yeah,
that song in my mind.
you can
Uh-huh.
hear the, oh, and you can see the sun shining behind her head,
Right.
the
Uh-huh.
pillar, this white stone, white marble pillar.
Uh-huh.
Sorry about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then she just looking on and go, oh, poor child. Boy, do you have interesting things happening in your life. Can you just have a normal day, please?
Yeah. The fact that you're a parent as well, would you then from being a sibling with that gap and also from being a parent, would you say for those planning to have children that they should be very deliberate and intentional and try not to have the gaps being so wide since it
Yes,
can have
please.
an okay.
I'm begging you, please.
Okay. Okay. Why?
First, first of all, it's just practical. The closer you
Okay.
have them together, they will actually have somebody appear that they can interact with. It will help with their social and emotional growth and ability to share and ability to empathize and all of that.
Okay.
Of course, there's also the oops baby where you have all the picnic them done grow and you feeling yourself and thinking you're safe and then Bobsy Kisco, I am 53 and I have a child.
Hmm.
I am not 53 and have a child. I'm 53 and don't have no picnic them. Them grown.
Okay.
But yeah, you have to be mindful of that because it creates a lot of stress
Mm.
on the older sibling. And I am since I've talked to my sister and having friends who are old, who are the first or the middle child,
Hmm.
just that kind of pressure that you're literally raising the person coming after you. If you have
Hmm.
a large gap, you are the de facto parent when the parents are not available.
Hmm. 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 It's interesting you say that because one of the things that well, I had an epiphany recently because I'm the youngest, and I recognize that regardless of the fact that I'm a grown woman, I believe in a lot of my siblings' eyes, I will always just be the young one. Even though, and I said, that explains a lot. So I've made my peace with it. So I don't think I get overly concerned if it is that. I mean, I will say the same thing that somebody that my older brother will say, but then everybody listens to the eldest because it's the eldest who said it.
Yep,
I'm
yep.
like, oh, okay, all right, yeah. So you're saying that people should be very deliberate and you know cautious and plan and have them closer together.
Yeah, because
But
it makes sense. The faster them grow up and go, you actually get your life back. Them spread out too far, you know.
Miss, you're having that sound like parenting is not a plan. Please fix that. Fix that, please.
Oh, parenting is an amazing, terrible, wonderful thing. And when we reach a certain age and children are a certain age, we want to parent them out of the nest. We want them to launch successfully so they can then go forth. I will put it this way: my dear wonderful mother who recently passed
Mm-hmm.
got upset with my sister and I that we got married and had kids. Her words were, I wish I had chosen to go ahead and travel and further my education.
Wow.
I love my life, I love my husband, I love my children, but in hindsight, to have done all of that and then decide to settle down and have a family would have been much better. And we're seeing that now in society where women are no longer putting their
Mm-hmm.
dreams on back
Mm-hmm.
burners. They are going for it. They're doing all of these things. They're freezing the eggs so they can still have a child, and they're going out and doing life. So when they
Mm-hmm.
come into parenthood
Mm-hmm.
much more mature, there's no, oh, I regret this and I regret that. No, they can fully embrace the fact
Yeah,
that,
be
oh, this
present.
amazing creature is here who is adding to my life.
Hmm. 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 As we're wrapping up the conversation, as someone who well, I just alluded to it. I just said that even at this age, you find that that's how siblings see you. Your other siblings see you. What would be the one thought you'd want to say if you miss anything that I've said from this entire conversation? This is the main idea I want to leave with you, listener. I want to leave with you, viewer. What's that idea?
Have grace. Have grace. Have grace on yourself.
Hmm.
If you're the youngest child or the middle child and you have an older sibling,
Hmm.
have grace. Have grace that you are not going to understand everything. And then have grace that the person who is older than you, that has that gap, went through a lot and had a lot of expectations that you never
Mm.
could have fathomed, you know? And if you give yourself a little breathing room and give yourself some grace and give them some grace, eventually you reach a point where you can have a conversation where you can go, wow, I never thought of it that way. I
Mm.
never considered it that way.
Mm.
And you build a genuine friendship that surpasses familial bonds. Something that is like, how would I put it?
Mm.
You find a soulmate, someone who gets you because they come from the same background, not quite seeing the world the way you did, but they come from the same background. You have a common ground. And so when you really go through stuff, because trust you're going to go through stuff,
Mhm.
suddenly you have this person that gets you in a way nobody else can get you.
Mm.
You know, you
Yeah.
may want to kill them still.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's be fair. And I'm sure sometimes they want to just slap you. But they get you. They can get you through the, oh, my parents are driving me insane. And they go,
Mhm.
I understand.
Mhm.
Or my mother passed and I am lost. I don't have bearings because this was my whole world.
Mhm.
And they get it. And they can step into these roles and you can support each other and push each other through these times.
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent note to end on, Dahlia. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing. This was Making It Last podcast, where it's all about helping us to have better relationships, not just with ourselves, but with other people. I'm Nuri Daly. Until next time.
We talk it out, no time to waste. Ooh, yeah. Face to face, we set the pace. Hey, hey. Love so strong, no need to race. We hold it tight in every space, making it last. Oh, making it last. Yeah, yeah. Through the future, through the past. Building it high, keeping it fast. Communication, making it last. Making it last. Oh, making it last. Yeah, yeah. Through the future, through the past. Building it high, keeping it fast. Communication, making it